Hey everyone, I'm Kaileigh and I work at GEO Study Abroad, and part of why I'm here is to talk to you a little bit about how to use study abroad on a resume and in an interview. So I'm a senior, I'm applying to a ton of jobs right now. It's constantly coming up in interviews. How can you use your study abroad experience to further your professional development? Well, there's a few ways. So when you're in an interview, a lot of these questions that you're going to be asked are behavioral. They're going to be about biggest failures in the last 12 months, let's say, or an example of how there was a problem and you were able to overcome that. And I think reflecting on your study abroad experience is going to be a great way for you to answer those questions and be a little unique. In fact, only 1 in 10 American college students study abroad, and so this already differentiates you from other people applying to the same job. With that being said, where you put it on your resume is very important. Don't put it in extracurriculars or travel. I think if you studied abroad and you did either an internship or you did an academic program, there's a few places you could put it. Primarily, if you did an academic program, education. You want to include that as a marker. So you did this relevant coursework in this city. For example, on my resume, it's under education. I did a marketing program in Vienna, Austria in the summer of 2018. I wanted to be sure to include that in my education so they know that I'm serious about the work that I did. You can also put it under relevant coursework. If you're applying to an international job, I think it's very important to have a separate international experience part on your resume so they can easily see and distinguish, okay, this person went here and did this. I think that's super important if you're applying to jobs not in your home country. There's another place you can put it, and that would be an experience. If you did an internship or something like that where you were working and studying or just working, definitely put that in like relevant professional experience so that they know that you're serious. If you put it in a place, for example, like achievements or skills, they're going to think that you just went on vacation for a few months and that you didn't really draw a professional development opportunity out of this. Be sure to include that level of professionalism in both your interview and your resume to make you a more competitive job applicant. Just an example to kind of bring this to real world. When I was in a job interview back in October, I was interviewing with a financial firm, and one of the questions was, give me a time where you failed in the last 12 months. And I had to rack my brain. I had an example of failure, but it was 3 years ago. So they wanted something current. So I was thinking about my most recent experience when I studied abroad. There were a lot of opportunities that came up where I had to overcome a problem, and some of those times I failed. When I got to Vienna, Austria, after the start of my marketing program, we all went to the local grocery store. Everyone in my program went to the local grocery store just a block away from where we lived. And I was one of the only German speakers fluently in the grocery store at the time. And the thing about European grocery stores is you have to weigh your fruit and vegetables. That was something we did not know, we weren't familiar with it. If you don't weigh them, then you can't pay for them because they want to have the price before they ring you up. So I went up, and also no one had euros yet, so we were all paying with cards. So they asked me if I could go talk to the grocery store clerk about how to buy our food and how to weigh our vegetables and fruit. And so I went up and I asked her in perfect German, I definitely followed up on this, if we could pay with a card and how to weigh our vegetables. And she got really angry with me. She didn't understand what I was saying. I was speaking in a different dialect of German, and then she laughed. And so at that moment I felt like I had failed. I didn't get the information from this woman to help the entire program that I was with. There were 25 of us in the grocery store, and it really was kind of a shock. I thought I knew German, I thought I was close to fluent, and it was a huge failure for me, one that I considered pretty big, and one of my first days in a different culture. So from that, I overcame it. I really started to dig into the Austrian dialect. It's different than High German, which is what I was educated in formerly at university. And I was able to actually, by the end of my program, go to the mall down the street and go back to that same grocery store and speak German to everyone without them knowing necessarily that I was a native English speaker. So I was able to overcome that problem and that failure through resilience and hard work. And I think being able to demonstrate like a story, an example like this, it's important to not only highlight your challenge or your failure or your problem that you were able to overcome, but how you did it. So they want to see, job interviewers want to see that you are accountable and that you can move on from such challenges. So be sure to highlight that anytime you have a question like that. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to GEO Study Abroad. Thanks so much. See you next time.